Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Samantha. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new to the channel, on this channel we'll talk about hair care, skincare, and a healthy lifestyle. So in this video I'm going to show you how to make a rose glycerite, which is something that's really good if you make your own skincare products. So things like body butters, body balms, lip balms, etc. And I will definitely be showing you recipes so that you can make these things and we can make these things together. So I'm using rose petals, which I harvested myself. These are wild rose petals, and I prefer to get these because they have absolutely no chemicals in them, so no pesticides, etc. So if you can get these wild roses, or you grow your own roses, or know somebody who grows roses who can give you some petals, then you're good to go. You're not going to need a lot. If you're going to make small batches, about 2 handfuls or 3 handfuls is going to be enough. So you need these to be absolutely dry because you don't want any moisture in your glycerite, because then that will just make the whole thing go off, get moldy. So if you're harvesting them yourselves, make sure they're completely dry before you use them. If you're buying dried petals, then you'll be good to go straight away. So rose petals, they have lots of benefits for the skin, really good for firming up the skin and also nourishing the cells and regenerating the cells. So that's why you find a lot of products have roses in them. So we're making a glycerite. So the other thing we're going to need is glycerin, and I prefer to use the vegetable glycerin. This one is based on coconut, so the different types of glycerins, but you can choose the one that your skin likes. So if your skin doesn't like glycerin, you can use glycerin that's made from other plants, such as soy, palm oil, or even olive oil. And then we're going to need a jar, and I prefer to use a glass jar because that gives you the best results. And you need one that's going to be closed tightly so that you don't get any air getting into the glycerite. So you don't want any moisture, and you also don't want any air. So the other thing as well, you need to absolutely disinfect your glass jar or whatever container you're going to use, so that there are no germs in there at all. And then I'm also going to use a blender. This step is not necessarily or absolutely necessary, but I find it helps, particularly if you want to get glycerite that has a beautiful rose scent. So I'm going to add in just a handful of rose petals, and this will amount to about half a cup of the rose petals. So remember, I said you don't need a lot. And then I'm just going to make sure that the rose petals are completely covered by the glycerin, and then I'm going to blend them really well until it becomes a really thick liquid. So as I said, blending is not absolutely necessary, but I find that if you want a glycerite that's going to have a stronger rose scent, then blending it really helps you to get that beautiful, strong rose scent. So this is what you're expecting to get after you've blended it, and now you just pour this mixture into your container, and then you close it really tightly, and then you're going to put it away for about 4 weeks, so a whole month. And this is what's going to help that glycerin to draw out as much as possible from the petals. So it's going to draw out the color, it's going to draw out the essential oils, which gives you the beautiful rose perfume, and it's also going to draw out all the other properties or nutrients which are in the rose petals. So if you leave it in for a short time, it's not going to be as potent. So in order for you to get a beautiful, potent glycerite, you leave it in the dark cupboard for a whole month. And then from time to time, maybe once a week or whatever, you just shake it up just to mix it up again. And then again, you put it away for a few days until the month is over. So I'm going to show you what I will be doing. And then once I've taken mine out a month later, I'll come back and I'll show you the next steps. So after leaving it for a month, you can see that the glycerite is ready. That glycerin, you can see, it's taken up the color from the petals. The petals are so pale now. And the mixture is also separated because the rose petals are very light, so they'll go to the top, whereas the glycerin is really thick and heavy, so it settles at the bottom. So I'm just going to use a spoon to scoop out as many of the petals from the top, because now we need to separate them and just get that liquid which is at the bottom. So once I've scooped up as much as I can, I'm just going to use a strainer to separate the mixture even more, so that we take out as much of the solid, in fact all of the solid particles, because we don't want any of the solid particles in our glycerite. So you do need something fine. So I've got a really fine tea strainer here that I'm using, but if you don't have a fine tea strainer, you can actually just tie something like a cheesecloth or a wig cap or the end of a pair of tights and secure it around your container, whichever one is going to catch the glycerite, and then just pour it in and then leave it to drain through. So we're not going to squeeze anything, because if you squeeze, then there's every chance that tiny particles of the rose petals will then go into your glycerite, and we don't want that. So I just let gravity do the work for me, and I leave it there. It may take a few hours, it doesn't matter, it'll be worth it in the end. So after leaving it for a while, you'll notice that the liquid has completely drained from the rose petals, and what we have now is our beautiful glycerite. So because we didn't squeeze anything, you can see it's nice and clean and it's ready to use. So the ones that I scooped out, you can see that there's still some liquid in there, so you don't have to drain it if you don't want to. You can actually use some of it if you're making your face mask, etc. And I will show you some recipes of how to use these rose petals to make your face masks, etc. So I'm just going to scoop them out of the strainer and then just put them aside. And then I'm going to just pour my glycerite into the container that I'll be storing it in, and I'll show you what it looks like. So I'm not just going to leave the liquids that was in the petals, the ones I scooped out. I'm actually going to repeat the process of straining them so that I get as much of the glycerite, and you'll see that as you continue to watch the video. So here's the end result. Here is our beautiful glycerite, and it looks absolutely stunning and it smells beautiful. It's got the rose scent and it's really potent because I left it in for a long time. So I'm not going to throw away those petals just yet. I'm going to use them to make some face masks and face scrubs. And if you want to see how I do that, then do subscribe and stay tuned. So in terms of how to store this, you actually just need to keep it at room temperature. Store it in a cool, dark place. That's the best. You don't need to put this in the fridge or a freezer because it is already preserved. When your product contains, well, if 50% of your product is glycerin, then that glycerin acts as a natural preservative. So you don't need to add a preservative. You don't need to do anything with this. It'll be preserved for months. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see how I'm going to use the glycerites, I will have amazing recipes for you. So do stay tuned. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and sign up for notifications. That way you'll never miss any of my videos. If you've subscribed to the channel already, I want to say a big thank you, because I really do appreciate your love and support. It means the world to me, and I want you to know that you are important to me. Thank you also to everybody who engages with the content. Obviously, that really helps to support my channel in many ways, so thank you so much. Again, if you haven't subscribed, then please do subscribe, and also please give the video a thumbs up, because that helps me to know that you're enjoying the content, and also it helps to support my channel. So until next time, my lovelies, you take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, and God bless. Bye for now, and see you soon.